Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Circle Debate podcast, our top 5 of the week for week 6. Once again, this is your host, Ivan C. the Devious, and alongside with the American hero, Mike Lopez, and the reputation kid of all killers, this is Josh Bret Horton. Now, our top 5 picks for this week is the top best tag team of all time from past and present. The top 5 best tag team. So this is a hard task for all of us, but I'm curious to say, I'm curious to hear, everyone's top 5. So I'm going to start off with the American hero. You're going to start it off from top to bottom to top.
Bottom to top. I'm going to start with number 5. To the tag team that made me believe in tag team wrestling again, and that's the Young Bucks. For me, the Young Bucks, the way they've I heard the initial press conference for AEW, and they said all these things about, we're gonna bring tag team wrestling back, and they made a believer out of me. I've seen their matches. I've seen some of their matches outside of AEW, and I can see how they've evolved the art of being a tag team. So, for me, number 5 is the Young Bucks. Number 4 is a nostalgic favorite. It's the Rock and Sock Connection. The Rock and Mick Foley or Mankind become a team after such epic matches against each other. It was a sight to see, and for it to be so entertaining, because not all the time do you get rivals turned partners. Not all the time do you make it work, but these guys made it work to a whole nother level. The This Is Your Life segment on Raw, to this day, I believe is the most watched segment on Raw, or highest rated. So much credit to them. Both world champions, so pretty cool stuff there. And number 3, I have the Lucha Bros. Like I was talking to Josh earlier, that you have like the Luchadors. You have Rey Mysterio, become world heavyweight champion, and you think, well, it can't get any better than that. But then I tune into AEW. I tune into Double or Nothing last year, and I see the Lucha Bros put on a great match. And ever since then, whenever I hear their music and I see them come up, man, I always look forward to those matches. And Cero Miedo,
there you go,
all that stuff. Yeah, they to me, they've earned my respect as one of the greatest tag teams out there, for sure. At number 3, number 2, zwei in German. For me, 2 is the Dudley Boyz. They've won tag team titles in every organization that they've been in. TNA, ECW, they've gotten the WCW belts, the WWE titles. The 3D, to me, is one of the most iconic tag team finishers ever. I actually have some Dudley Boyz figures growing up, and yes, absolutely, 3D, the Dudley Boyz at number 2. And my number 1, which may be a surprise, my number 1 is Edge and Christian. They were the most entertaining tag team champions in the Attitude Era. They had their 5-second pose. They always, pretty much every TLC, they ended up winning. They won the Triangle Ladder match at WrestleMania 2000. They won it at SummerSlam 2000. They won it at TLC 2. Both went on to win world titles. And man, I wish they would still be able to go ahead and become a tag team. And who knows, maybe they can nowadays.
One more match.
There you go. For me, ENC, number 1 favorite tag team of all
Wow. What an amazing fucking picks. Did not expect that. I can't argue. Cannot argue with one of them. So I love every pick. You did it right. Great fucking job with that. Mr. Killer, what do we got from you now, man? Either from top to bottom, bottom to top.
You know, I always say the best for last.
That's right.
Let's start off. Let's start off with number 5. Number 5, the power of positivity. I want to say a big shout out to my number 5, the New Day, the 8-time WWE Tag Team Champions. From the moment they got together, Xavier Woods told them to stop kissing babies. It's our time to find a purpose. We don't take, we ask. They was very serious at the start, and then they started becoming an extremely fucking funny team to watch. But they won their first tag team titles after defeating Cesaro and Tyson Kidd at Extreme Rules. And then, we see funny moments like them in the Time Machine. And it was also the host of WrestleMania. Well, we seen them introduce the Hardy Boys into that Fatal 4-Way ladder match. How big of a pop was that? You know what I mean? And also, they came out of a fucking big box of cereal. What else team has done that?
In Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan gear,
I love that. Yep. Dragon Ball Z status. That was amazing. I love that.
Also, these guys, I believe, 483-day reign as tag team champions. They beat Demolition's 28-year-old record.
Yes.
A 28-year-old record they beat for longest reigning tag team champion. 2015, the trio were collectively named as the WWE Wrestler of the Year. First time ever that a trio had been named Wrestler of the Year. And also, Pro Wrestling Illustrated awarded them for Tag Team of the Year in 2015 and 2016. They've been baby faces since 2016, so that's been a while. I'm waiting for them to turn on each other, but I'm hoping they get to those 10 times first. And I want to see Big E turn heel, man. Come on, Big E, damn it, turn heel. Also, that moment at WrestleMania where Kofi won the WWE title and they're in there celebrating with him. What amazing moment. That's the best trio tag team of all time. So to me, they got to be on my list, man. The New Day, you said from current to present, and currently, right now, I have to say New Day is definitely the best tag team in at least the WWE. Can argue that, right? Come on, man.
They were like, for me, New Day is the version of the Fabulous Freebirds, straight out.
Yeah. And
I love it.
Also, they inducted the Fabulous Freebirds into the Hall of Fame.
That's right. Michael Hayes, But
downtown Atlanta, PA.
That's right.
All right. So number 4 on my top 5 greatest tag teams of all time, Santana and Ortiz. And it may shock a lot of people, but I feel like these guys are going to be the tag team that is talked about a lot in the future because these guys have so much potential. And not only do they have potential, they've already reached a lot of it. In 2012, they formed a tag team known as EYFBO, which stands for Entertaining Your Freaking Butts Off. And they won several tag team titles, including the AAW and CZW and the House of Glory tag team titles. 2017, they signed with Impact. They joined K-Dog as the new LAX. 4 times they won the Impact Wrestling Tag Team Championships. They was holding the record for they hold the record, I think, for the most combined days as Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions at 662 days. They was also the longest reigning Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions at one point. I don't know about now, but at one point, 261 days as your Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions. They also won the GFW. Shout out to Jeff Jarrett and his little gold company.
Global
They
Force
also
Wrestling.
won. Yeah, they also won the Global Force Wrestling Tag titles and unified them with the Impact Tag Team titles. And let me talk about the great matches, man. LAX, Santana and Ortiz versus the original LAX. You know what I'm saying? Hernandez and Homicide.
That was
Let
good.
me talk
That was
about
a good
that.
tag team.
What about that concrete jungle match at Bound for Glory, though?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Think
I
about
remember.
that.
Oh my God, you're right.
Think about that. And my boys, Santana and Ortiz, they left Impact in 2019 and they headed to AEW because they know that's where tag team wrestling is treated right. And now they are a part of the inner circle. They went from being under the guidance of the legendary Conan to being under the guidance of the legendary Chris Jericho. So, I mean, this tag team right here, man, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit for Santana and Ortiz. And a lot of people will say, well, maybe they don't deserve to be in the top 5 because they haven't had a lot of time. But, yeah, think about it, man. They've been a tag team since 2012. I believe this team right here, we're going to be talking about a lot in the future.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Brown and proud. That's right. Santana Ortiz.
Right.
I met him.
You remember that entrance? You remember that entrance at Bound for Glory with the brown flags?
Yeah.
Hey.
I love it. And I met him there. I met him, and I actually got drunk with those guys at bar wrestling. So it was really great to get drunk with them. And I told him I bought him a first round.
You're lucky.
Hell yeah, man! I took a picture with him.
Also, the barbed wire massacre match they had so many crazy matches with the Lucha Brothers, and they had so many great matches in Impact. But I feel like their potential hasn't even been reached yet. We're gonna see a lot more from these guys.
Definitely.
In AEW, and possibly one day they will go to WWE. And,
no.
They might.
No.
But
no.
even if they don't, even if they don't, Santana and Ortiz, when it's all said and done, they're gonna go down as one of the greatest tag teams of all time. So shout out to Santana and Ortiz. Now let's get to number 3, my fellow North Carolinians. Let's take a twist of fate here with the Hardy Boys. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The Hardy Boys, they debuted as individuals. They was jobbers in 93 and early 94. And they was facing established names like Razor Ramon. But then they went on, man. They faced the Rockers, the new Rockers in their debut, which was Marty Jannetty and Al Snow. I can't remember what Al Snow's name was back then.
Leaf Cassidy.
Yeah, Beef Cassidy. They faced him. And also, these guys are former 6-time WWE Tag Team Champions, also former WCW Tag Team Champions, 2 times the TNA Tag Team Champions, 1 times the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. They defeated the APA to win their first WWE Tag Team titles, defeated Booker T and Test to win the first WCW Tag Team titles and their only WCW Tag Team titles. And they give a shout out to The Undertaker for doing that last ride to Booker T, which would give them the win of those WCW Tag Team titles. And also, who could forget WrestleMania 17 TLC match, the Hardys, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian. Somebody had to take that spear from Edge. Mike, Edge and Christian was your number 1 tag team, but somebody had to take that spear from midair, and that was Jeff Hardy. And we know Jeff Hardy done a lot of crazy shit, jumping off of ladders and cages. I mean, the guy's incredible. Both Hardys, at the same time, they had great singles runs in WWE. Jeff, former WWE champion, former world champion in WWE, former IC, hardcore, European, light heavyweight. He even won the United States title in WWE. And Matt Hardy, not to be upheld right here, Matt Hardy also held the ECW, European, cruiserweight, and he also held the tag titles with MVP as well before he would feud with him and whip his ass and take the United States title in WWE. And then we know what happened next, ladies and gentlemen. They would go off to Impact Wrestling for a while, win the TNA tag team titles, win tag titles all over the world. And then that return at WrestleMania, which I spoke of earlier, which the New Day introduced them, and they come out and play the four-way tag team match to one of the biggest pops ever. I go back and watch that clip on YouTube to this day and get goosebumps, man. Get goosebumps.
Me too.
When that Hardy Boy music hits, hey, they had to win that matchup. And when they won the titles that night, man, that to me was one of the greatest moments in tag team history, in WrestleMania history for tag teams.
And that was self-redeeming, by the way, because the night before they lost the Ring of Honor tag team belts to the Young Bucks in the ladder match. That Saturday evening, they lost it. Then they went back the next day to capture the Raw Tag Team Championships. Everybody kind of knew that because they were going to show up, but it was rumor in your window. But then when they showed up, me too, man. Oh, my God, I had goosebumps. We all went crazy. I was watching it at the Coy's house, Dio Estrada's house, and one of my house. We went crazy. Like, oh, my God. Like, oh, shit. It was magical. I think that was like the Mania moment. That one and Daniel Bryan finally come back wrestling.
I'm telling you, man, like there's a few moments that you can watch back and that gives you goosebumps. Like Lesnar returning in 2012, like when The Rock first come back after about 7 years. And like this, when the Hardy Boys came back, man, those moments like that will stand for a lifetime because they give you goosebumps every time you watch them. Also, I want to say the Hardy Boys, while they was on the independent scene, they held the Crash independent promotion tag team titles. The House
K-Dog's promotion, by the way. It's Conan's wrestling promotion.
Shout out to K-Dog. They held the House of Glory, the MCW, the New Dimension, and the NWA 2000, and the OMEGA, which is, I guess, Omega Tag Team Gold. Also, Pro Wrestling Match of the Year, Pro Wrestling Illustrated Match of the Year 2000 and 2001 versus the Dudleys and Edge and Christian. So definitely deserving of the top 5 is the Hardys, and that's my number 3 pick. Right there, my fellow North Carolinian. And getting on to number 2. Let me just say, they're former WWE. They're not former. They are WWE Hall of Famers. Oh, what a rush.
Oh,
what a rush. You know what I'm saying? How could you not put the Road Warriors in your top 5, Mike? I cannot believe this, Mike. I cannot believe this. I mean,
I cannot believe this shit.
Even if you didn't grow up watching them, man, there's a reason why they say to these young kids that you got the Road Warrior pop when you get it. I mean, because these guys right here, they set the bar. They set the bar real high. Animal and Hawk put together by Ole Anderson, and thanks to the idea of Paul Ellering, and they became a tag team around 83. 2 times the WWF Tag Team Champions. They went to WWE, of course, became known as the Legion of Doom. They're also 1-time WCW Tag Team Champions. 3 times, I believe, the NWA Georgia National Tag Team Champions. 1 time All Japan Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. 1 time AWA Tag Team Champions. 1 time fighting for the world of Japan Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. 1 time IWS Tag Team Champions. 3 times Our Generation Tag Team Champions. Pro Wrestling Illustrated Tag Team of the Year, 83, 84, 85, and the year of 1988. Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked them number 1 of 100 best tag teams ever in 2003. They was ranked 1 out of 100. So, I mean, come on, man. Legendary matches at Starrcade and WCW. Go check out the WWE Network. Watch some of those matches if you don't believe it. Then they would, They had many feuds with the Nasty Boys. Let's talk about the Nasty Boys match with the Road Warriors for the WWE Tag Team titles at SummerSlam 91. The Road Warriors won their titles and got the biggest pop ever. If you haven't heard that pop, go back, watch the Road Warriors versus the Nasty Boys, SummerSlam 91. Road Warriors win that match, and you got to listen to the crowd, man. It's like when the Hardys return. It is fucking epic.
Was there in England at the time? They were in England, right? That was when it was Bret Hart and British Bulldog, right? Or that was 92.
So. I believe.
Yeah, it was, right?
I think it's so. 91. It might have been. It might have been. I think so. Yeah. But then LOD 2000 come around when they returned back again after they had left. They left the company again, came back from WCW again, and then Legion of Doom 2000. They had Sonny as their manager. Shout out to Sonny. And then they would have their last great highlight at WrestleMania 14, winning that matchup at last WrestleMania 14. I believe it was for a title shot, but they never got the titles again. But that right there was one of their last highlights. They also got to wrestle for TNA. I believe it was only one time, but they was there. And in May 2003, of course, they faced RVD and Kane for the WWE tag titles, and they wanted one final run in the WWE, but of course, Hulk tragically passed away, and it didn't happen. But later on, I believe around in 2005, Animal would win the tag team titles with Heidenreich in tribute to Hulk. But I don't believe that should have happened. I
agree.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that should have happened. They should have just left it alone. Let the Road Warriors be what it was, because you're not going to replace Hulk. You're not going to replace Hulk. Rest in peace, Hulk. Rest in peace. Let me take a drink right quick for Hulk. Cheers to Hulk.
Cheers to Hulk.
Cheers.
What a rush!
Because a lot of people don't know this, man, but right before Hulk died, it was kind of like Eddie Guerrero. He had got right with the Lord. He had started living right, and then all the things he had done in life caught up to him, and his heart gave out or whatever. And and he died, but he'd already got right with God, and he was starting to do things right. So very, very, very sad situation there.
Which you can watch that, ladies and gentlemen, in Dark Side of the Ring Season 2. They talk about Road Warriors, and watch that on Vice TV. Go to Vice.com. You're able to watch that too. We're not sponsoring Vice, but we're just
Oh, we love it though.
We love it. So,
shout out to Vice.
Shout out to Vice. Great job. I love it. Can't wait for Season 3. But go ahead and continue. My apologies.
All right, now we want to get to the number one pick for the Reputation Killers. Top 5. The number one pick of all time. Oh, my brother, testify. 25 times tag team champions of the world. How can you not say they're the greatest tag team of all time? Come on, man. I mean, 8 times the eight times ECW tag team champions. 1 time Hustle tag champions, 1 time Squared Circle Wrestling tag champions, 2 times the IWGP tag team champions, 1 time NWA tag team champions, 2 times TNA tag team champions. They're in the TNA and the WWE Hall of Fame. 9 times the WWE tag team champions, and 1 times as the WCW tag team champions. So this resume from the Dudley Boyz is very fucking long, but I will speak on a little bit of it. Right there, I gave you the title rings, 25 of them in total. Their time in ECW, of course, was legendary. They left ECW after losing the tag team titles to Dreamer and Raven, and then they came back for a one-off in the year 2000, which I didn't know about until I looked it up the other day. They did come back for a one-off with ECW in 2000. I believe it was against The Anderson guy, God damn it, I can't remember his name. But yeah, him and somebody else. Who can fucking forget the famous catchphrases though? What's up? What's up? And I mean the 3D, man. Come on. The 3D is like the greatest fucking move ever.
Testify.
Let's see, their WWE debut came on SmackDown in the tag team tournament, where they broke up the tag team tournament. They wasn't in it. They broke it up. They attacked APA and Edge and Christian. They whipped their ass, and they let everybody on notice that the Dudleys had arrived. And everybody said, those damn Dudleys. And then they became known as Team 3D in TNA. 2005, they would make their debut in Clean House, beating up Jeff Jarrett, America's Most Wanted, and Team Canada. And they hit the 3D, let everybody know that they was there. And, of course, Kevin Nash would come out, be on Team 3D's side, and he would hit the jackknife power bomb on Jeff Jarrett. And then the Dudleys would challenge America's Most Wanted to a tag team matchup. And we all know how Team 3D's run in Impact went. Almost kind of like Kurt Angle's. It was almost as good as their run in WWE. It might have been better than their run in WWE. And then also I want to say that Bully Ray, right now, Bully Ray, man, didn't he get to be Impact World Champion?
Yes.
That's right. So he had a successful run over there. So did Devon. He was, I believe, the television champion.
It was the Legends champion.
Yeah, the Legends championship that would later go on to be named the yeah, you know what I mean. And then but right now, Bully Ray's working with Ring of Honor, I believe, and Devon's a producer for the WWE. But I hope that one day we can get more of Team 3D, a.k.a. the Dudleys. I hope one time we can get these guys back together. I didn't know they never held the ROH tag titles, but I wish they would have done that. But I do hope they at least try to go win those AEW tag team titles. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my top 5. Now, top that, Ivan. Top that. Top it.
Oh, all right. I love it. Because the great, I was gonna teach you a lesson too, right? I want to teach you a lesson because you telling Mike not that he didn't include the Road Warriors. Hold up. You forgot some other people's as well. What's up with that? So, but number 5, I did have the Road Warriors, so you got me on that one. I'm with you on that. Number 4, I'm already gonna top 5. I mean, obviously Road Warriors. I'm not gonna mention much of it because you already put it all out there. You put the resume out.
Damn right I did. I got them all that shout out there.
Yep. The Hart Foundation, number 4. The Hart Foundation, Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Come on, you can't really forget about the Hart Foundation.
Oh,
man,
they would have been in my top 5. They would have been in my top 5.
Man, you can't. What's wrong with you? You gotta have both. This is a great fucking tag team. This was an awesome tag team of all time. During the era, when the tag team division was at its best, especially the best feud was with the British Bulldogs. That was the best feud they had. Even with Demolition, with the Killer Bees, man, so many of them. Even with the Steiner brothers, that was a good match to be honest. When it was Steiner brothers versus the Hart Foundation, great fucking match. I loved that one. I think it was Superstars, or I don't recall what show was it, but I know it was in a pay-per-view. But that was great. So Hart Foundation, number 4. Number 3, I'm gonna go ahead and take it back old school, man. I'm gonna go back old school. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the NWA days. I'm gonna go with the Midnight Express, baby. The Midnight Express. You cannot go wrong with Midnight Express, man. Midnight Express, you can't go wrong with Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane. I like Conjuring, but I prefer more Stan Lane than, the Conjuring. The both of them were great no matter what. Whoever was in the Midnight Express. I love how Cornette managed the shit out of them in NWA.
Corey would be proud of this pick.
Yes, he would be. This is the top three. Like Midnight Express, you can't go wrong with them. They revolutionized the tag team division, to be honest. Back in Smoky Mountain, back in the NWAs. Oh, man. Everywhere. Even WCW at the time, back in the days. And then the feud that they had, which I have them as my number 2, because these guys are the greatest mindsets of tag team, which is the Rock and Roll Express. Come on, you can't go wrong with Ricky Morton and, with Robert Gibson. Man, the motherfuckers killed it in NWA. If you go back and YouTube their matches at NWA, even when their little stint in WWF, if you go back to even WCW, you can go back to, World Class Championship Wrestling, WCCW, you go back to that. Oh, man, this tag team, Rock and Roll Express, innovated the tag team of what it is today if it wasn't for them, to be honest. And if it wasn't for them, these 4 that innovated the tag team division would not be how you guys had you had the Young Bucks on your list. And, I'm not disagreeing with that at all because it's great. Even with Edge and Creation, the Hardy Boys, Dudleys, if it wasn't for these tag teams, they would not be the tag team what it is as of today, honestly. And my number 1 is the toughest one of all time. The toughest one, number 1 of all time. Because of the fact it was the great Attitude Era. I can even, because now I'm leaving the past away. Now I'm going a little bit towards the present. Because of the Attitude Era, because of everything was, with the Ruthless Aggression Era. My number 1 pick. This is going to be a tough one to say, but oh, my God. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go with FTR. Wow. FTR because.
Damn it, man. I was going to put them on my list.
FTR because of the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, and because of the past, they're bringing back how it's supposed to be tag team wrestling. FTR is my number 1 because I love they stole the show in NXT against DIY or any tag team division in NXT. I was glad to see these 2 guys, pro wrestlers that brought up tag team division of what it's supposed to be again. Don't get me wrong, the Young Bucks too. It's hard for me to fit them in that top 5, but because obviously the Young Bucks has a better resume than they do. That's understanding. That's 100% fact. But I like the style they're bringing. They're bringing the old school style, but there's a modern twist to it. They're doing it in their own type of style, not involving you don't just see them doing the hot drop kicks or anything like that. You see how you saw what happened on Dynamite. See that old school suplex, spam, body splash. Who did that? I'm trying to remember what tag team did that. That was reminiscent of somebody, and I always forget who that was reminiscent of a tag team. They did a suplex and then a body splash, but I forgot who it was. I think it was Midnight or Rock and Roll. One of them 2, I think it was.
Yeah, it might have been.
One of them 2, they did it, and then they did the finale, the Tony Blanchard and Art Anderson Spike Pile Driver, which the New Age Outlaws is too during the Attitude Era. That's another one too that I would like to include the New Age Outlaws. The Road Dogg Jesse James, the badass Billy Club, but the New Age Outlaws. That's another tag team that could have been included in these top 5 because they brought the best out of everybody too in that Attitude Era, and they made the tag team division great too. But I had to go with FTR because they're bringing back everything what I used to see as a child. They're bringing it back in their twist of era in this modern wrestling. So I have to go with FTR by number 1. they have to be because this is the present. I'm talking about the present. The past is what I talk about. This is the present. FTR. My apologies, Young Bucks. You're my boys. I love you guys, but I'm gonna go with FTR when it comes to professional wrestling. I'm not saying that you guys ain't professional, but I'm saying this type of pro wrestling is what I miss seeing again, and I cannot wait to see them fight the Young Bucks. And what kind of show they're gonna throw? That's gonna be another DIY, pretty much Revival 2.0, but an AEW. Yes or no? Do you guys agree with that?
I agree. I was going to pick FTR myself. I was going to pick them, but then I was like, I need to wait to see what else they do. But yeah, I wanted to pick them bad. I really did. They would have been in my top 5 if they just barely made the cut.
They barely made it because go ahead.
They almost made it. What I mean.
I look forward to the Young Bucks defeating FTR to show that they were supposed to be on your list and not FTR.
You can't be saying that, Mike. I'll tell you right now, FTR is better than the Young Bucks. I'm gonna get Cornette's lawyer on your ass.
Bring him.
I'm about to call.
He is more than welcome here in Circle of Debates, and we'll debate it out and make sure that he changes his mind.
He's gonna call Stephen P. New on you.
That's
you know
right.
what? Yeah. You don't want Stephen P. New.
We're gonna sue with Stephen P. New.
I loved it. I mean, this was great. This is a great top 5. I loved it. Yeah, I know that Young Bucks, I couldn't include them, but I mean, come on, man. I mean, I grew up. You know, we all grew up with that. You know, the Attitude Era, the old school era. I mean, I remember all of that.
If you would have said present and past, I would have picked like the bunch of the past. You know, because nobody else right now in the future is like their career's not done yet. So you know, I mean, they will go on to be great tag teams, but they're to me not right now as great as the tag teams of the past. But I did want to throw the couple of tag teams from the present in there. I wanted to make sure I threw one from AEW and one from the WWE. So I picked my 2 top teams from both promotions. So.
All right. Okay, absolutely. The one I could throw that everybody wanted, who could we all throw that we all could agree on? I mean, this is off our top 5. So who could we choose? Obviously, you had Dudley Boyz. You had.
I had the Dudley Boyz too. Did you not? You didn't have the Dudley Boyz?
I didn't add them in.
How would you not have the 25?
Because if it wasn't for the past, they're the ones will not be existing. Even the Hardys or Edge and Christian. Same thing. But I'm surprised that Mike didn't pick the world's greatest tag team, Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. I'm surprised he didn't pick them. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for you to pick them.
They have enough accolades already. We know how great they are. Let's give the lesser teams a little bit of a shine today. So
I'll tell you what, man, they should have kept world's greatest tag team together. I mean, a lot longer.
I agree.
They really should have. What the hell went wrong with that? I don't know, but yeah,
I loved it. It's because they saw more in Shelton Benjamin than Charlie Haas.
Yeah, but then they ended up not doing nothing with him neither.
Remember, he won the IC. Well, he won the IC, but that was it.
And the United States title.
Oh yeah, and the U.S. Wait, did he win the U.S. belt, Mike? I don't think he did, right?
Wait, who?
I thought he did.
Shelton Benjamin. Did he ever win the U.S. belt?
I don't remember. I remember the IC belt.
Hey, I remember when Shelton, man, he fucking beat Triple H and like right then they started pushing his. They should have pushed him to the moon after that.
They were supposed to, but then when they added the mom, you know, he had his mom situation, it went to hell.
Now, let me tell you something, Ivan. I asked Mike, who on the interview today, I asked him who was the favorite wrestlers he met, and I believe he put Hurricane above Kurt Angle.
I mean, maybe not above.
What
was in there.
Was you going in order? But I mean,
no. I was going in I was going in the opposite order from top to bottom. That's the
Well,
thing.
either way, Kurt ended up in the middle though.
Oh
I
wait,
mean,
yeah. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, it's because the Goldberg memory was that rare, you know, and Cena too. So
Sorry,
But
we
it's
won't tell Kurt. We won't tell Kurt.
no. I'll make sure to.
Hey, Kurt,
block
if you
this.
see this, hey man, better get on your boy, man, because that's your mentor right there. That you're his mentor, you're his hero. What is going on? What's up with that? How can you put a hurricane over Kurt Angle?
And then who was number one? It wasn't Hurricane. It was somebody else. Damn it! I can't remember. Check out that interview on Descriptive Influencers YouTube channel where my exclusive interview with Mike would be posted.
That's right. Oh, he did won the U.S. Championship. Shelton Benjamin did win the U.S.
I swear to God, I thought he did. Wasn't it when he was like the gold standard?
Yes, so he was a golden standard. Yep.
Yeah. See, I told you. I thought he did.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And he even damn, I even forgot what he was in New Japan too. Like he was up there with MVP. Like he was part of the Suzuki Gun clan with Suzuki and everybody. Oh wow, I didn't know. Wow.
I didn't know that.
He was a Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion as well, alongside with Charlie with Charlie Haas. So that's I'm surprised he didn't add them. We could have added the Steiner brothers. We could have added the Demolition. Shit, we could even.
There's a lot of honorable mentions.
A lot of honorable mentions.
Okay, if we could name 3 honorable mentions apiece right now, let's do it.
All right. So,
okay.
All right. You start off. You name one right now.
All right, I gotta name one. The Steiner brothers. Definitely, I'm gonna put the Steiner brothers up there, man, because they're a fucking team that needs to be fucking mentioned. And then let me see, the British Bulldogs. Definitely. I don't know. They definitely deserve to be mentioned. And then who else would it be? I'm trying to fucking think, man. God. Let me see. Well, because I'm trying to think of somebody that we haven't mentioned yet. But maybe I go with the Briscoes.
Oh,
you know?
Jay, yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with them.
Yeah, all right. Mike, what do you got?
As far as honorable mentions, man, so many, but I'll narrow it down to 3. Midnight Express, Hart Foundation, and someone that you guys did not mention at all because they did something very historic, Sasha Banks and Bayley, for being the first female tag team champions in WWE. There you go. Some love for the women there.
There you go.
You're trying to take from me, Mike. I gave the women the spotlight at the pay-per-view, and they ain't trying to take from me.
There you go.
Well, I mean, my top 3 will actually the top 3 would be, the one. You mentioned the Briscoes, right, Josh? You know who you forgot to mention? Motor City Machine Guns.
Damn.
That's Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
Yeah, you're right.
Killers. They killed it in ROH and in TNA. Fucking phenomenal fucking tag team. Motor City Machine Guns. You cannot forget about them at all.
100% right.
At all. Yep. You cannot. Okay, so we mentioned them. You already mentioned the British Bulldogs, Steiner brothers. You know what? I could go with. Let's see. I will go with. Actually, the Four Horsemen, Tony Blatcher and Arn Anderson. That's another great tag team. It was a great tag team. When they were in WWF, it was the Brainbusters. That was another great tag team, as well. Who else I could mention the last one that. Oh, why did I not forget about this? I'll mention my number 1. that one, like my honorable one that should be honorable, the Hollywood Blondes. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Brian Pillman.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
That's the one, the great tag team back in WCW. I loved it about how they always did that, film camera roll. That was fucking amazing. I loved it. Great heels. Both of them were great heels. I enjoyed it, man. I Hollywood Blondes, I forgot to add them in my top 5. They should have been in my top 5. But
yeah, man, if I could, one more honorable mention, man, the Brothers of Destruction, man. God damn it.
Taker Kane, of course.
God damn it. Yeah, of course, those guys.
Yeah, of course.
There's so many. We could go all night.
We could go all night about it, yeah.
All night, man.
All night, definitely. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and we're done for this evening for our top 5. Hope you guys are actually enjoying Backlash. Obviously, you'll see this before Backlash comes along. We appreciate you guys joining in Sunday and watching the top 5. Don't forget, next Sunday, we already mentioned we're going to go ahead and do our top 5 best women wrestlers from the past and present. There's a lot of more top 5 we're going to do, and I cannot wait. And also, don't stay tuned as well. After Backlash, you're going to see The Last Ride. I'm assuming it's a final chapter of The Undertaker, but if it is, I'm looking forward to do some Taker stories, which, we'll announce that pretty soon. But, I don't think it is. I think it's chapter 4, right, that they're doing. Am I correct? This is chapter 4. No, it's a 5 chapter. So this is chapter 4 coming out later on today. Okay, perfect. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for next week's episode of Circle Debate, episode 7. We will go ahead and discuss the aftermath of Backlash. What was the best match overall and what our thoughts about the whole pay-per-view card. And we'll actually tune in for Raw and, SmackDown, which don't forget, we had SmackDown being off Raw, and then you have, AEW and NXT. So we'll be giving the highlights of that and more pro wrestling news and more with New Japan, because what the tournament is coming up next week, coming up on obviously Monday, which is June 15th. So you'll see that. And more with Impact and more rumors and news. So for us to you guys, thank you so much for joining us here on our top 5 week 6 episode of Circle Debate Podcast. I'm your host, Ivan C, the Devious One, the hero of all heroes, Mike Lopez, and the Repetition Killer, Josh Bret Horton, saying salud, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy. There you go. Yeah, all right. Good night, everybody.